Were you a real tree guy?
Yeah. Well,
Always had real trees?
generally, that was my memory, is that we always had real trees. Especially early on when I was a kid, because we lived out kind of more in the sticks.
I
We would go cut our trees.
I never had a real tree. We always had a fake tree. Never had a real tree until I was like an adult. Until I moved out when I moved in with Kristen. That's when I finally got my first real tree, which is a lot of work. Because the fake tree, we pulled down from the attic, and it was a stick, and you put the fake branches in it, and it's the perfect Christmas tree, perfect shape, no bald spots or anything like that. It's just fake.
Yeah.
But it would sit in a, you put your Christmas tree in a Christmas tree stand.
Yeah.
This Christmas tree stand revolved. So you'd stick the fake tree in a Christmas tree stand.
The tree would spin around?
And the tree would slowly fucking rotate. And I loved it. I used to love to go to sleep on a living room couch with the Christmas tree on. It had a slow, like, white noise hum to it where it's just like...
Yeah. Like white noise.
Yeah, and with the lights kind of... Everything else dark but the lights. Really fucking cool. I always loved it. And then one day, my old lady was like, "You had a rotating fake Christmas tree?" And shit all over it. It was just like, that's horrible. And I was like, no, man, it was kind of cool. And she's like, we'll never... And I keep trying every year. I'm like, let's get a fake tree that rotates. And she's like, first off, they don't make those rotating things anymore. Second off, no. We'll never get a fake tree.
That was very environmentally friendly of you guys.
Well, we were green way ahead of the curve.
You were. And you had an electric tree.
We did. Well, that is green. That's good, no?
Well, I mean, generally, it's like you don't use power.
Well, so what, the electric car is okay?
Well,
That's
in
the
lieu
lesser
of,
of two evils.
in lieu of. I mean, if there was a rotating tree that used gasoline,
yeah, that'd be really bad.
Everyone would be like, use the electric one.
And we couldn't even move to a coal-powered one because that's bad too.
If you had a tree that didn't rotate, that was just a fake.
What if it worked on slave labor?
Just
like
a guy outside.
Yeah, it was just working a turn under our house.
Like a Conan. And then one day he got so muscular.
I'm like, that's strength, boy. That is power. And I was like Thulsa Doom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come to me, my child. Come to me. And a chick throws herself off a fucking cliff and shit.
Every Christmas.
I could turn into a fucking snake and whatnot.
Yeah.
That'd be all right. We didn't have that. Turns into Conan. What was the Conan's thing? He was the fucking
Cimarron.
Yeah, he was. He goes to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. That's what he said.
Lamentation.
That's remember, like the king was like, "What is? Hey, Conan, what it is?" And he
everybody just starts with, "Hey, Conan,
hey man." Hey, Conan, because he was kind of like a slave. He was, he worked the wheel.
Yeah.
And then when he got older, they nailed him to a cross. Conan is kind of like the story of Jesus.
He is.
But he worked the wheel, and then when he got older, the king used him as a... Remember he threw him abroad and shit, the fuck, and he was all savage about it, and she was all scared. And then he was like an animal that the king kept. And then he said, Conan, what are the things that... What do you... Tell me something.
Hey, Conan.
Hey, Conan, he's drunk. Hey, Conan, tell me something good. And then he said, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
Yeah.
And those were like
that was the
credo? The reason of his credo. That was the whole, that's what you did in
moves.
Life. Yeah, basically he's like, if you can do this, shit's on. Life is good. Khitan General, he wasn't a king. Khitan General says... we have won again. That is good. But what is best in life? A fleet horse, the open steppe, a falcon at your wrist, and the wind in your hair? Wrong! Somebody else said that. The general said that, and then some other jackass guessed at those things. About having a bird.
Gotcha.
Like as if that's good. Then the general says, wrong! And then turned to Conan. Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of it says their women here.
Gotcha.
I can't believe I remembered that line. And then the general says, that is good. And then in parentheses under it says, note that this is actually a paraphrased quote from Genghis Khan. Apparently Genghis Khan said something. Said,
something like it.
Something close to that. But here's the thing with Conan Thulsa Conan says the riddle of steel, and Thulsa says, yes. You know what it is, don't you, boy? Shall I tell you? Because it was James Earl Jones. Is the least I can do. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. There, on the rocks. That beautiful girl. Come to me, my child. The acolyte plunges from the rock to her death. That is strength, boy. That is power. The strength and power of flesh. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength in your body, the desire in your heart. I give you this. Such a waste. Contemplate this on the tree of woe. Crucify him. And they fucking crucify him. He's very messianic-like, very Jesus-like.
And then he bites the vulture's head.
I remember that. You don't have that in the Bible. Jesus didn't. When Jesus was hanging from the cross, there's no line where it's like, and then a buzzard came by. Christ fucking bit his head off like a circus geek. That would really make the Bible come to life for me. I'd be like, fuck yes, man.
You wonder why I didn't read it.
Because he's a human being.
Yeah.
And you know he'd want to just be like, I'm hungry, man. I'm dying, but I'm hungry. If I can keep my strength up,
and then the little wizard dude comes and gets
frees him.
Yeah,
that's Mako.
And then he's like, don't they paint all these numbers on his faces? And
I forgot about they paint their faces black and white.
Yeah.
That's when they go in. That's when Max von Sydow, as the king, hires him.
They go in
to go get his daughter. Because he's just like, there comes at a time in man's life where gold loses its luster. And, you know, the man... Oh, fuck, I gotta look that quote up, too.
And then they go...
He goes, all the man wants is the love of his daughter or something like that.
And they're in the palace. Whoa.
Yeah, it was dirty. Well, back then, that's what you did. You could have sex with your daughter, I guess. Near death, Conan is rescued by Valeria and Subutai. They return him to the wizard Conan had met previously, and Valeria demands that the wizard save Conan's life. In response to this technique, the wizard tells Valeria that the gods would exact a terrible price on the one who asked for it, and she says she'll pay the gods.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how she pays. The wizard does as she asks, and his spells ward away spirits and ensure Conan's survival.
That's what I thought, that he wrote all this lettering on his face, like
to go. Oh yeah, vertically. When he was laying there near death.
Yes.
And he's moaning while he's doing some throat singing and shit while he's writing on his face. He writes, put cock here on his cheek with a little arrow to his mouth.
He's like, I love this joke.
Advantage of this and deals a blow to... And it was her, right? Yeah, the assailant who helped him was Valeria, who has made good on her promise to come back from the dead to fight by his side. Conan knows, looking at her, she has become one of Crom's chosen, as she appears surrounded by a glowing aura.
Crom is the god of
Crom
steel.
Is their god, yeah. That's who he prays to. He's always like, Crom! And then, you know, give me a bike for Christmas, please. And then it says...
Is that when he was a kid?
Yeah. Lil Conan.
Give me a wheel.
Crom. Get me off this fucking wheel. Give me a bike. Give me a big wheel, Crom. Conan follows Doom, appearing behind him as he preaches. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
He's preaching to everybody.
He chops his head off.
And he attempts to hypnotize Conan by looking in his eyes and almost succeeds, but Conan manages to shake it off and then cuts Doom's head off with his father's broken sword.
And then he shows
tosses the head. He shows it. And then he tosses the head down the steps of the temple. And then his revenge is complete. Conan destroys the temple by burning it to the ground, and he departs with the princess to return her to the father.
Father.
And then the wizard,
then is like, now I can fuck my daughter.
Yeah, he's like, as was the tradition in olden times, I can fuck her too. The wizard,
from one bad situation.
Yeah, she's like, send me back to Doom. At least I wasn't related to him. Jesus, it sucks. What's your fucking story, Conan? He's like, I'll tell you my story. To crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and hear the lamentation of the women. The wizard, who has been narrating the story the entire time, states in the epilogue that Conan later went on to become a great king by his own hand. Remember, there's that picture of him sitting on a throne? And then he added, but that is another story. And then Conan the Destroyer came out.
That story was kind of lame.
It was bad. It was so terrible. Compared to fucking how awesome Conan was. Conan the Destroyer was terrible. Remember they did the callback where he's like, he saw a camel, and he's like, I'm sorry I hit you once, buddy.
Yeah.
And they spit at him again, he punched him even harder or something. Oh, it was just so bad compared to the first one. And they fought that weird fucking terrible rubber monster.
Yeah.
Here we go. Crom, I have never prayed to you before. I have no tongue for it. No one, not even you, will remember if we were good men or bad, why we fought, or how we died. No. All that matters is that two stood against many. That's what's important. Important. Valor pleases you, Crom, so grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you. Remember that?
It's like Conan the radio play.